KC Cares is the intersection of the nonprofit and the profit communities, making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. This KC Cares segment is brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. I'm Ruth Baum-Biggis. Juneteenth is a holiday that commemorates the end of slavery in this country following the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. First celebrated in Texas, Juneteenth got its name from the combination of June and 19th, the date that Major General Gordon Granger issued the order proclaiming slaves' freedom in the Lone Star State. Nearly 165 years later, Juneteenth is still celebrated in a big way. Here in Kansas City, it was 1980 when Horace M Peterson III, the founder of the Black Archives of Mid-America, Inc., brought the idea of a Juneteenth heritage celebration to fruition. So what is Juneteenth Kansas City? How does this major effort all come together? Well, here to fill us in on all the details is Makeda Peterson, who's the program director for Kansas City's celebration. Makeda, thank you for carving out some time for us. You are so busy with everything, getting it all ready.
No problem. Just a pleasure to be here today, for sure, to have this moment.
All right, for folks that are not familiar about what's been going on in Kansas City, share with us a little bit about what the landscape has looked like for Juneteenth here.
Just over the last couple of years, or are you saying like over this coming year?
Well, I would say over the past couple of years and for as long as you've been involved.
Okay, yeah, the JuneteenthKC organization has been hosting the celebration within the 18th Divine Historic Jazz District for 12 years, which historically has been a community festival with free events for the entire community, a youth kids zone, health symposium, features over 200 vendors from across the greater Kansas City area, social service partners, and just really is an event that tries really highlight community organizations and social opportunities that positively promote African American pride and culture.
You've got that down, girl. That sounds amazing. There's so much there. So can you talk a little bit about the nonprofit and how the beginnings of that came about and how you all work to organize?
We started as a for-profit, and basically we linked up with mentors and a couple of community leaders in Kansas City. We identified the need to bring the celebrations back to Kansas City. We started hosting the festivals as just local organizers. And then about 5 years in, we switched gears and moved to more of a community setting that had the nonprofit structure where you saw us working more where things were free, open to the public, and just really partnering with community partners and corporate organizations to, again, highlight the Juneteenth celebration, but offer community services and socialization opportunities for the community at large. And so that's now where we've grown down to the 12th year. And, we focus on the activities in June, which is the Heritage Festival, the Cultural Parade, and some various events throughout the month of June. But then as an organization, we host activities throughout the year, like First Fridays. We have mobile distributions, community baby showers, and other events as well that just really, again, support community advancement, progression, and then also just any that also provide cultural preservation preservation and restoration, I guess, which is more preservation.
How did you all make the shift? You said you started really as a for-profit organization. So how did you do the shift and why did you make the shift?
We didn't make any money. This didn't a for-profit organization to do it that way. And so we just, I started with a nonprofit background and just understood that, you could find more support as hosting it as a nonprofit organization. And just be able to utilize more community resources and community partners to help to host the effort and to also now provide more community services and community platforms for alternate programming opportunities.
I think it's so interesting that it's not just a cultural event from the standpoint of it's not just come see paintings art, music, etc. You've really woven so much more into it. Was that always part of the plan of having Juneteenth really have a presence here in Kansas City?
I mean, it just happens organically, I would say. We are given opportunities to partner or just delve into different areas, whether it's just, areas we've always been curious about, or as, as the culture shifts and there's more programming that is now available or accessible to, we're able to kind of open up the opportunities as well. And so, we've just been able to pursue more engagement opportunities, or just, pursue more ideas and not being limited by just, having a stereotypical festival. And historically, we've always wanted it to be more than just a party. And we really use the festival background as, the social element to bring in the educational programming. It's a lot easier to kind of slip in the education versus kind of beating it down to everybody.
Gotcha. So talk a little bit about how everything is structured to make this incredible month of activities, is not just one day, happen. I know you're schlepping stuff and taking stuff. So do you have any help? How does it work?
Yeah, we have a board of committee members that meet weekly to just plan logistics, and we have a strong body of volunteers. We actually are blessed to have a lot of corporate volunteers, but most of it is volunteer based, or our board members that are committing the time to help with planning logistics and planning how we can make the celebration grow bigger and better every year. We rely heavily on community partners to provide information, and also I'm not providing information, but to provide support and whether that's them assisting with marketing, or they might have staff that can assist with leading various roles as part of the effort. Then we definitely will make those partnerships and find ways to balance out what the are.
So we know this year's festival. This year's festival is on Saturday, the 17th of June. For somebody who's never been there before, what kinds of things are we going to see, experience, take part in?
We have 2 community stages. So we'll have national acts on our main stage, which is Pokey Bear and Sir Charles. We have a Family Health and Cooling Center that is sponsored by Heartland Coca-Cola, and we'll have nonprofit agencies that health partners inside of that is sponsored by the Missouri Department of the Minority Health and Senior Services Department. We also have Commerce Bank, Target, and other corporate organizations that'll be inside there that'll provide community giveaways, beverages, and cooling items to kind of keep the community cool. We'll have a kids zone with an interactive play area with puppets, free face painters, artists, character artists. We'll also have youth book distributions hosted by the Kansas City Public Library and Turn the Page KC. We will also have a genealogy center hosted by the Black Archives of Mid-America Incorporated, where families can record their oral histories, and then also they can learn more about how to start the journey to the genealogy history. We'll have an art gallery, over 200 vendors, just a ton of things. It's really helpful just to download our mobile app or go onto our website, JuneteenthKC.com, because we have so many events throughout the district. It starts with community workouts and lots of distributions and giveaways throughout the day that everyone as a community can look forward to and take advantage of it. And it's all free.
And it's in the 18th and Vine area, the historic district down there.
Correct. We take over the entire 18th and Vine Historic Jazz District. So it's about 10 city blocks that are fully taken over with special activities and things for the families to do.
Now, you've been involved since 12 years ago or so.
Correct.
How have you seen things change?
It's definitely changed over the last 5 years, just due to the city now federal, the nation now federally recognizing Juneteenth. There's definitely been an uptick over the last couple of years with people wanting to learn more, do more. Now there's even a requirement, in a sense, for corporations to do more because it is a holiday. So now they have to recognize it like every other holiday. especially like 4th of July. So you just have now seen, a lot more organizations trying to find different ways to be a part, to support. And so it's just exciting. Definitely as organizers of Juneteenth celebrations across the nation, we've just seen it become more than just a community celebration. It's now become regional and even national. And to have the support of the community and those corporate sponsors is it's great, especially just because we're all joining forces and we're aligning resources to make the biggest impact possible.
I'm going to ask the fly on the wall question. Juneteenth, it does celebrate the emancipation of slavery. Why should someone who's not African American come to a Juneteenth celebration? And what are we going to learn?
Well, I mean, I think you said it in the answer itself. I mean, it's about the emancipation of slavery. It doesn't necessarily have to be the emancipation of Black slavery. I mean, slavery has touched every continent and every ethnicity across the globe. So it's more as if you believe in that people should be free, then you should celebrate Juneteenth, just like we would celebrate the 4th of July or have been celebrating the 4th of July, even when we weren't free. I mean, we as a nation, we've always celebrated the liberation of white America from Great Britain. And we celebrate the liberation of other ethnicities as well from from slavery. We just as a community agree, and I think everyone holistically agrees that slavery is a bad thing. Then, it should be, no one should be in slavery. So if you believe that in the truest form, then you really should have no problem with Juneteenth.
And I'm sorry if I inferred that anybody would have a problem. I guess my question
I think that's the thing too. Or just, that more so that just, do we feel, well, I know that there's a sense like, oh, is it, are we welcome, or do we, right. I know we've had questions or people kind of other ethnicities have kind of shied away from it, just feel like this is supposed to be our day. And it's like, well, no, if you believe in freedom, you should be celebrating just as a general, as again, we celebrate, just like I have no qualms with the 4th of July. I've been celebrating it because we should be free. Everyone should be free and have access to liberties. And as an American, and we are African American. And so just celebrating our day of liberation is just another way for us to celebrate as a nation that we do not believe in that people should be, in bondage.
I love that. And I love how you've been able to take advantage as Juneteenth moved through now as a federal holiday to go for those resources. That's something sometimes nonprofits forget, that there is stuff out there that you can go look for. And you all have been able to do that and incorporate that. What's your favorite part of the whole festival? Or are you just glad when it's over and you can put your feet up and don't have to run around?
I'm pretty much glad when it's over. The Kids Zone stuff is always great to us. That's the mission of our organization, is really to impact, child development. And it always happens at a young age from, birth to 5. So that's why many of the events that we do, we focus on free youth activities, free things for families to do so you can engage and, they can start to make that connection at a positive connection to community at young ages. So, anytime that we're able to really in action or see our kiddos enjoying and in their own community and not, parents feeling that like their kids aren't safe if they are, running up the street, or their kid, that they have to watch their kids every second. And the district really shifts and everyone really looks out for each other and kids are comfortable, families are comfortable down there. And that's the real goal, is just to normalize that sense of community and that sense of coming together and making that something that our kids see. Because again, our kids are exposed to a lot of traumatic things at this point, especially as our country kind of continues to seemingly spiral. So, whatever we can do to kind of show them what normal, activities look like, or things, especially when we, that's what was my inspiration is, things that when we grew up with as a kids that were normal, that was healthy, like, okay, you can ride your bike down the street, or you can have those community picnics and, those things and have that sense of community. It's really important, especially as we go into these more and more difficult times. Those moments that we're able to offer to our kids are invaluable.
Wouldn't it be great if we could all do that? Just send our kids out on a bike, go play at the park, something for everybody to strive to return to some sense of whatever normal is, right? I'm curious, what did you all do during the pandemic? Because so much of it's outside.
So the first year we did virtual, and it was very successful. We had a virtual celebration. We were probably the only people we probably were the first ones to do it, to try to go ahead and do virtual programming and engage it to the level we did. And it was successful. That's probably where we really exploded online, because people were really, were stuck at home looking for ways to learn and engage. And then after the first year, we were, we were able to go outdoors. So we were able to really kind of thrive, to be the first activities where people could go into open air activities, and just really kind of, still stress the education. We did COVID vaccinations and education on preventative care, and did a lot more resource distributions during that point in time. A lot of our mobile distributions were heavier during the COVID years, where we were seeing numbers of, 3 to 500 families at one event that were getting on-site services and needing, just needing support, because families weren't working and things were shut down completely. So we were able to kind of step in and be a support system, in that capacity, and then still provide, we provide online learning for our kiddos, and workshops and books, that kiddos can do activities with online, and just really try to find ways that families could continue to celebrate at home, or even find ways that they could find a release, from, what was going on with being in lockdown and all of that.
What did you take from pandemic that is kind of now stuck with Juneteenth as it is today? What we call a pandemic pivot lesson.
I guess the biggest lesson, we definitely tried to stay ahead. We tried to stay, being creative. With everyone, Zoom, it's always going to be a new asset and a tool for everybody. But I think we found ways to try to bring in our audience that wasn't in Kansas City, or ways that people could take the experience back home with them, or still utilizing our website. Our website is actually a really great resources for people to learn, connect, and even take those pieces and get, incorporate within their own celebrations or their own educational programming. So we really spend a lot. We do invest a lot in our website and in our mobile, even our mobile app that we have available now, just to really try to get people to be able to engage as much as possible, and however they wish, whether it's a workshop, whether it's being a speaker, or just tuning in. And even this year with the parade, we were able to partner with KSHB 41 to live stream it from home. So everyone's really able to watch it and see it, and not have to, be right, smack dab in 18th and Vine. So I think those things, we've learned, just to stay flexible and not allow, I guess, a difficult situation to, cause us to shut down shop. We can, we can definitely become, we can be agile and adapt, and, our ability to adapt and just really focus on, what way we can impact and support the community the best way possible is the goals, and what we've really stayed focused on and tried to stay true to.
We're talking with Makeda Peterson, who is in charge of everything, I think, for Juneteenth. She is Juneteenth. What kind of things do you focus on when it's not celebration time, when we move July, August, and the rest of the year? How does the organization then stay relevant and involved in the community?
Well, we host the First Fridays events in the Jazz District. So that is our organization to host in those kind of smaller scale communities, social activities, vendor events where they're able to connect with social service providers, community organizations. We also host quarterly mobile distributions or community baby shower events. We partner with Children's Mercy Hospital and Cribs for Kids to do safe sleep training as well. So we provide pack and play assistance to families in need, mothers in need, with a child 2 years or younger, can attend our training courses and for the home, to promote safe sleep activities. We also do we now do a 2-year initiative, which is our housing initiative. And our housing initiative is in partnership with Arvis Bank, Reese Nichols, and also now U.S. Bank to offer home ownership workshops that that support a family's transition into home ownership, and just really offering introductory courses that talk about how to start the process to home ownership, credit cleanup, how to start your own bank account, just different levels of financial literacy components, but also tied directly to also home ownership components and education. So 1 hour is the home ownership education, and the second hour is financial literacy. We wrap that all up into also doing giveaways and hygiene product and resource distribution, just to support the everyday kind of household support items to kind of guide a family's process along the way. And then we also offer a family that completes at least 3 workshops, a trip to the Flourish Furnishings program, which is a great program here in Kansas City that provides furnishings for the whole family from top to bottom. So we use that as a way to kind of, keep families engaged throughout the process, let them know that they have a support system, but then also kind of too, as they're moving into their new home or they're moving into their new apartment, if it's not, that new home at that point, we could also kind of save that cost in furniture and household supply items by signing up a family to do that, and just, finding ways that we can eliminate barriers or balance out, any kind of stressors financial stressors that might be happening with the family, and kind of blending resources with our community partners as well.
Such a holistic approach to things, that maybe folks would not associate with a heritage culture festival. That You're doing these things year round, and you really dip into the community. I know when I was there last summer, even though it was very hot, it was a lot of fun. And there was so much available by way of different nonprofits. How do you cultivate folks to come and be part of the Heritage Festival and then your other programs?
Well, we do have a lot of community partners that we reach out to just regularly, that have either been on site at our events or have reached out, definitely have reached out and said that, hey, they want to get involved and learn more. I mean, we definitely open our table to any community partner that wants to serve, and just, and is open to serving. We'll also too, we have our general application. So when we have community events, you could definitely just come in as just like a general application. And typically what we'll do too is we'll reach out to those health service providers that we see and we recognize and say, hey, if you want to come back next month, we more often than not will waive their fees and just say, hey, we don't necessarily care about the vendor fee. If you want to come, if you could provide a service, if you provide a service or you bring something to distribute, on site with us, we waive the fee, or find whatever way possible to make, that, I guess, make it, enticing for that partner to come in. But we definitely creatively partner with a lot of different partners from across the spectrum. We now recently are doing partnerships with like the Royals and the Urban Youth Academy. We partner very closely with Kansas City Public School District in the city of Kansas City itself. And also just several community organizations like the library, Turn the Page, Boys and Girls Club, Canby's, Urban Community Connections. I mean, that's probably the one thing I think our organization really tries to, try to do is, we don't want to be the only one in the room. We really want to partner and collaborate as much as we can so that, when our attendees come, they're getting as much as they can within and exposure to as many organizations as they can, so they can make connections, they can network, and really continue that relationship. We want you to continue to work with these organizations, exchange numbers, realize, how to stay on top of these organizations too, that you're not, the squeaky wheel is the one that gets oil. You're follow up, let them know you're still interested in services, and teaching, our constituents too, how to continue to build relationships with these organizations. Because a lot of these organizations, if you connect with them correctly, they'll partner with you for life and continue to connect you with other people, even if you're past their quote unquote the parameters of the program. Most organizations, especially if you're engaged, and they know that you're a family or an individual that's really trying, to do the best that you can, they'll find another partner that will fill that gap now, to say, hey, well, technically you've aged out, but here's another partner that now does that. And, they'll be the intermediary that'll help you with that. So we want to be that agency to really promote that, teach families how to continue to build their relationship and keep the relationships going too. Like, just because, again, you leave an organization doesn't mean can't come back, and I think that's one thing that's a continued resource.
You said you started your career in nonprofits. Did you ever think you were going to be running the huge metro area, huge celebration and programming?
No, I mean, I didn't think so. I mean, I guess I had goals. I mean, I had envisioned myself to hopefully be doing, work with Juneteenth. My father was Horace Peterson III, so he's the founder of the, of course, the archives and celebrations to Kansas City. And so, there's always been that natural, pull to continue his work. I just luckily had a wonderful mentor by the name of Benny Shelby, and other mentors that have kind of guided me along the way through, city officials or other mentors that have been able to kind of to groom me, because again, we don't all get here this way. So to help groom, but also just, to support and to be a listening ear. And I think we all knew at the very beginning it wasn't going to be a quick project. I think one thing that a lot of people in Kansas City and a lot of organizations need to could benefit from understanding is that, it takes time. It takes time, effort, continued effort, and even effort after failure. It doesn't always go right the first, second, but you just got to keep at it and be willing to invest the time. It took us 12 years to get here, and we're just now getting to that point. And I think, now you see a lot more people say, oh, well, I want to do it. I want to, have this huge festival. And I was like, okay, just crawl before you walk, do your research, and understand that it really doesn't happen overnight, especially, it took us a long time, a lot of money lost. Like, luckily now, and again, we've had mentors that were able to help put bills or help to find creative resources, because we lost a lot of money in the beginning. And again, now we're at a point where we have a model that we're able to duplicate and really have the support behind it now too as well. So yeah, that's probably my 2 cents.
I thought there was a little tie there with Peterson. So how cool. Yeah, but how cool that is. What a family legacy, and carrying on. And that's wonderful to have that and to have that in our community with a big celebration, because you don't always have that. So kudos to you all. So anybody who's interested in volunteering or finding out more about what you're doing, again, website, is that our best bet?
Yeah, website is amazing. It's the JuneteenthKC.com. And right now it's going to basically look festival-ish, because with everything we got going on the month of June, it'll all really be Juneteenth focused. And then after the month of June, it will switch over to more of our nonprofits, our social service side, to feature those activities that are kind of our year-round activities. Our mobile app as well is going to be an amazing resource, because it'll connect you to our community partners year-round, and also activities that are going around across the city, and it'll just allow you to find things, stay connected. But both of those will be great. And then we're always looking for volunteers. So on our website, if you just click the Get Involved tab, you're able to connect instantly to most of our projects throughout the year.
Makeda, thank you so much for taking time, of which you had very little. So we're so grateful, and we wish the best success for this year's Juneteenth and the ongoing program. So thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. I really, really appreciate it. I know I'm hard to nail down, but I appreciate your flexibility and the opportunity, because this is a great opportunity to share our mission, our message. And I look forward to seeing everybody, and even you, at Juneteenth. And just hope everyone the best success in their endeavors as they run their own organizations or look to building their own.
Thank you for joining us for KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice, produced by Charitable Communications. And this segment was brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. Spread the love and find us on Facebook and Twitter at KC Cares Radio, and Instagram, KC Cares Online. And don't forget, you can catch us on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. on ESPN 1510 AM and 94.5 FM. Thank you for joining us on KC Cares.